but living over here about 30 years, you know, and so it's changed a whole lot. I mean, I've noticed that everything's become very expensive to live around here. The houses, rent, and all that stuff is going up. It's almost living in Capitol Hill almost. You know, it's becoming. A lot of my friends have left because the houses were sold. So I don't have a lot of friends like I used to around me.
And have you seen like your rent or housing values around here rise?
A whole lot, yeah.
And
Of
people have
course.
had to move out because of that?
Yep.
Do you think you're
Well,
gonna...
they move out because they really can't afford to even move in. After they renovate and tear the house down, you know, it's condos or single-family homes. The one next door to me is $700,000. Over here, that one was $700,000. Everything around here is $700,000, almost $1 million for these houses. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. And how much was it like when you moved in?
Oh, 40,000.
Wow.
A house.
That's crazy. Do you feel like all of the new services and buildings and restaurants are for people who have lived here for a long time, or do you think that they're targeting like the new residents?
They're targeting the new residents. The restaurants, you can't get a meal under $15. I mean, even stuff like McDonald's is not even around here no more. I mean, you can go in there and get a meal for maybe under $5. That's not even around here no more. Ben Chili Bowl, you got to go in there. They just moved around here. You got to have at least $12, $13 in your pocket to deal with them. To get a half smoker, you know, whatever. So it's becoming kind of rough.
And have you seen like any of the smaller businesses that you used to go to move out?
Oh yeah, I mean, to give you an example, Murray's Steakhouse. That was like one of the most inexpensive stores as opposed to Safeway or Giant. Well, now they're not around here no more. They used to be down on 7th and H Northeast. And they had pretty good, you can go in and get a lot of stuff for a little bit of money. Now the Giant is down the street and they want what they want, which is more, than anybody can afford. Not more than anybody can afford, but it's just a lot more than Murray's Steakhouse. Because they made their own products. You know, hot dogs and birthday. I mean, it was just reasonable stuff. Now that's not there. So it's just one of those things, that's what's going on.
What is the worst thing that's happened to the neighborhood since like
the worst
all
thing
this
is you can't afford to, if you live around here and you move out, you can't afford to move back at the income you were living around here with before. Who's coming around here now? People who got incomes that are 4 or 5 times more per day or per month or whatever you want to call it. How you doing?
See you later.
Okay, man.
Yeah. And why do you think those people want to move into the neighborhood now?
Because they can walk to work. Subway's right here. They can bicycle to work. They got that bicycle you can rent on every corner almost around here.
Yeah.
But you gotta have a credit card or something to use that. So if you ain't got a credit card, you can't even rent a bicycle. I mean, it's just making it hard for poor people, to live, or people with middle income. I mean, it's just very difficult. Saying that the benches on all up and down H Street. When I first moved around here, there was nowhere to sit on H Street. I mean, you stood around or sat on somebody's storefront on the curb, but you couldn't do that because cops would run your way. But then they started putting new benches, black metal, wrought iron benches on almost every other block. And I'm like, what? How come they're sitting at these benches around here now? After all these years, there was no benches. That's just an example of how the neighborhood changed. And the streets are wider, more lights on the street. I mean, it's just like, I could be here at night, right here where we're standing, and look down the street, all the way down to almost to not Hecate Mall, but Florida Avenue, and almost all the way down here to where the bridge is, where the subway comes across, and see exactly who's walking on the street. I mean, it's all right to see everybody, walking around, but it wasn't this way before.
Do you think you could describe the neighborhood as gentrifying?
Yes. I mean, gentrifying means what? They're basically people with high incomes moving in, right? People with better, high education, all that stuff is happening. And most of them.
Do you think that the newer, like primarily white residents interact a lot with people who have been in the neighborhood for a lot longer?
Well, they interact with me because I'm out here. I mean, it's hard to avoid. I speak to them as they walk by. And so, And then we interact. Sometimes they bring me stuff that, you know, they don't want anymore, and I can sell it. But, you know, I don't see much interaction like I used to, because what I do see is that at about a certain time at night, it's like a ghost town out here. You know, there's really nobody out here. I used to stay up in my yard till 9, 10 o'clock at night selling shit. Still my language.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, we should stop being so segregated. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's beginning to get.
And you think that, like, bringing all these, like, expensive businesses segregates...
It's segregating people. Yes, it is. I do believe that. I mean, it's not so much as color now, it's money. That's the segregation thing now. It's not you know, color. It's money. Money should have no color, but it does.
And what do you think, like, do you think that the businesses only target people who have money?
Uh-huh. Over here it's beginning to be that way. You take, for instance, the hardware store down here. Now, that may be due to the fact that these bigger places like Walmart and Home Depot wiping out the small hardware stores, but places like Ace is still going on. That was over here in Northwest, but they never came over here in Southeast. Used to be Fraser's down here on Pennsylvania Avenue, big hardware store. But I guess because of the fire it had 2 or 3 years ago, everything, it never came back, you know, never put it back together again. I mean, it's amazing how the Union State, I mean not Union State.
But in the first place?
In the first place, it's because my brother offered me a place to stay. I was kind of homeless, you know. I mean, I had places, but I wasn't living anywhere, you know, on a solid basis. You know what I'm saying? Until he bought this house, I was buying this house, and it was being renovated, and it was being fixed up. And he asked me to come on over, and I started moving in then.
And how do you think the community has changed since then?
Like I said, there wasn't any benches on 8th Street, you know, before. There wasn't, the sidewalks were as even as they are now. They started putting down bricks to make the sidewalks, you know, walkable, or whatever you want to call it, you know. So people, and you know, putting these things up here, these wheelchair ramps, you know, that you know, that wasn't here. I mean, come on, a lot of things wasn't here. Now they're here. I mean, it was good. It probably was an ordinance, a city ordinance, that had to get these sidewalks like this so people could wheelchair people up.